Hassan,
Peace.
answer this question. Is this the wizard and Wale?
You know that.
We rush suckers. They try to step to me, yo. I'm with Mike Marvel up in the studio.
Hey, welcome back. Feliz mes, herencia de la España. Shout out to Luis Cedeno, the Puerto Rican and Cuban, known as the first Latino DJ in hip-hop music. Shout out to the Puerto Rican mastermind, Hector Lavoe. This is Let's Chew the Gum. We have a great show for you today. We have a combination of all those guys. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Let's Chew the Gum. I'm your host, Protocol. We talk a lot about a lot of things in this show while we chew the gum, and just like every show, we always have
something for your mind, something for your mind, something for your mind.
정신을 집어넣으세요. 어떤 건 필요합니까?
Something for your
정신을 집어넣으세요.
mind.
정신을 집어넣으세요.
Something for your
Welcome to this episode of Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything while we chew the gum. I'm your host, Protocol. Hey, this is a very special show. This is the very first episode. This is season 3, episode 10, but the first episode where we're doing it live on video. So to all of my audience around the world and in all 45 countries now, I appreciate you listening to the podcast every week. I'm happy to join you on camera. You guys that are listening right now to the audio version, you can see this episode on OnWatch TV on Roku and Spotify. So you go to Roku, download the OnWatch TV app, and you can check us out there, or you download it to your Amazon Fire Stick to check us out on Amazon. I'm so happy to be here today. As you know, we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and I have a very special guest with me today to do that with us. My guest today is, I want to say, hip hop legend, right? I want to speak it into existence. This is my man, Daniel 3D Perez. What's happening, Daniel?
What's happening? I appreciate you for having me, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wait, I gotta, people think I'll be kidding when I say let's chew the gum. I'm gonna tell them why. Hold on, I gotta get this gum going. I gotta chewing gum, man. Some people always ask, why is it called Let's Chew the Gum? And so the reason why this show is called Let's Chew the Gum, years ago, I was teaching down at the university. And as I was driving down, I always chew some gum, whatnot. I like to chew gum because, when I played sports, it gave me a rhythm, it gave me a nice flow. It helped me to regulate my breathing, so, and it helps me to process thoughts. Well, this particular day, I was going on to my class and I was still chewing gum from driving down. Well, I'm in mid-lecture, man, and the lecture is flowing really good and students are engaged. And I realized I had gum in my mouth like I do now. And I said, excuse me. I took the gum out and said, I apologize. You're not supposed to chew gum while you're talking. And they all said, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's okay. We enjoyed the lecture. It was no problem. So that's when Let's Chew the Gum was born. I said, okay, well, let's chew the gum. And so that's why we do it, man. So to all the gum chewers out there, it's okay. But yeah, man, getting back to you, I was really glad to have you on the show, man. We have a lot to talk about. There's so many things that I could discuss with you, and I'm going to get to some of the things you're doing currently. But for our listeners, man, again, especially celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, what is your connection to the Hispanic culture? Let's start there.
So definitely. So I'm a melting pot of cultures, if you will. My mom immigrated here from El Salvador. So she's from La Paz, El Salvador. And then my dad, who's actually a Chicano here from the United States, his parents are from Durango, Mexico. So I am sort of a Mexidorian mix, you know what I mean?
All right.
Still right here repping the USA, the red, white, and blue colors, if you will.
I love it, man. No, I appreciate that. Legitimate. No, I appreciate that for sure. So yeah, man, I was saying that there's a lot of things that I know you're doing currently. I wanted to first talk about as a well, I introduced you as a hip hop artist, but I know that you are much more than that. And hip hop is a vehicle to put out messages, to bring people together, et cetera, et cetera. What was your inspiration for getting into hip hop music or the hip hop culture?
So for me, it was, since a little kid, I would catch myself trying to rhyme along with Eminem and Jay-Z and the greats. But it really evolved into not only a hobby, not only a passion, but more of just everyday life kind of culture for me. When I really realized how important it was to my mental health and how much of a community I was able to build around my music, and all my friends are musicians nowadays, and just incorporating that into everyday life just amplified the passion and everything for me.
Oh man, that's about how it starts for a lot of people, man. It surrounds you. It definitely is a culture, man. I'm a product. I don't want to say I'm a product of the hip hop culture, but I came up in the hip hop culture. But prior to the hip hop culture, there was other music. I actually, like you, I think we had a conversation before. I love all types of music, man. You might find, you'll find jazz, you'll find rhythm and blues, you'll find heavy metal and rock, you'll find alternative. Everything I say from Frank Sinatra to NWA, you'll find it in my collection, man. But hip hop, as I was coming up, was something that people said wouldn't be around for more than a year. They said it's a bunch of guys spitting in microphones on the corner, or spitting in their hands, beatboxing, but it's here. And for a long time, it's been mainstream. It's on, from how we say from the streets in the hood to Wall Street. It's everywhere. Marketing, Fifth Avenue. It's worldwide, man. You have a special motivation for what you do in terms of bringing communities together or bringing people together using hip hop. What is that about it? And why is it important to you to utilize hip hop to bring people together?
So definitely experiencing it through my life and the impact that it had on my life made me want to bring that same energy that I found in other places back to my hometown of the high desert, Victorville, California. And just for me, the mission is because I've seen the impact that it's had on my own life, and I see how it can be life-changing to a lot of people. And I realize the things that we lack in our home community of the high desert. And I just see myself as someone who really can see the future and really sees what can be, as opposed to kind of being held down by the reality of it now. And just to kind of break that a little further, that's kind of the whole idea between my 3D glasses. So my name is Daniel Perez III. I've been 3D my whole life as a third Daniel. But with these glasses, what they really mean is, have you ever seen The Matrix? Actually,
I have. Absolutely.
So it's like the red pill and the blue pill. Now, when you wear the 3D glasses, it's the energy of bringing both together. So you're bringing the dream world into the real world. So you're able to truly put your energy into something and manifest those dreams into reality.
I love it, man. I love it. And that was a great, you did a pre-segue. I was going to go into, the story behind the glasses and the whole 3D. And that's a great way to represent, that's important for people to know that this is legitimate. This is not an act. This is the person that you see is the person that was raised, the third Daniel, 3D, the glasses, the meaning behind it, that's important for people to know. So when people do see you, hey, make it, what's your choice?
Yeah, and it's
what's
funny,
the choice?
It's funny you say that too, because I'll introduce myself as 3D, and sometimes I'll get that response of, no, but what's your real name? But to me, my real name is 3D. My mom calls me 3D. My grandma calls me 3D. My closest friends call me 3D. So it's like, if you don't know me very well, then I could be Daniel if that makes you more comfortable. But, 3D is the energy that I really put out in my everyday life, in my music, and just 24/7.
Absolutely. And I think that comes across whenever I've seen you perform, whenever I've seen your performances or heard your lyrics, it comes across, the authenticity comes across. A lot of people attempt to be something that they want to be, while others like yourself, you're living and expressing what you are and sort of sharing that with the world and with the audiences that you come across. And I think in instances like that, it makes it easy. There's definitely work into it, but it's a natural flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and exactly how you said it. I appreciate you, noticing that in my music. I felt for a long time I was kind of struggling to find myself, and that struggle really ended when it was a realization of just realizing who I am, as opposed to trying to find what I was supposed to be, and just going with the universal flow of things, and letting the universe take its time, and me putting in my work every single day. I know a combination of preparation and opportunity is what I strive for.
Right. Speaking of putting in work and taking your time, you didn't just go out and decide to start doing music and whatnot. There's an academic history behind it, as well as a professional uh, work ethic behind it. So let's talk a little bit about your academic background in terms of the schooling that you attended, and your focus, and then what you did professionally before venturing out into the world of performance.
Yes, sir. So I graduated in 2014 from Victor Valley High School, and I was blessed with the opportunity to continue my studies at San Diego State University, where I graduated there. And this is another fun fact. My actual major that I graduated with is interdisciplinary studies in 3 departments. Now, when you use the abbreviation for those, it's IS3D. So my major is 3D. It's funny how
How
that
about
works.
that? How
And I was
about
able
that,
to
man?
combine, I've always considered myself multifaceted. So I was able to combine my writing skills with my marketing skills, along with communication skills. And those really helped me in areas of outside of the classroom. I started doing college radio. So that's where I was the host of my own college radio show, had the chance to be on air. I had rappers come on and freestyle. I had my homie who was a beatboxer lay down some beats for him. That's when I really learned kind of like the media side of things when it comes to marketing and networking and things like that. And from there, I really credit the college radio station for preparing me for the real world, as they say, for the corporate life, the job life. And I was blessed with the opportunity to work for a big media company in Univision Radio San Diego. So, started from the bottom. I was putting up tents, passing out raffle tickets at events. And, sure enough, they noticed my talents when it comes to marketing and digital content of that sort. So I ended up getting a promotion and being in charge of digital teams in not only San Diego, but Las Vegas and in Texas as well. So that's really where I credit, my expansion, if you will, of knowledge and utility belt, as they say, and really prepared me for the venture that I'm now on, where I'm doing everything for myself.
Oh man, that's outstanding. So, you know, f- speaking of Univision, if I'm not mistaken, is Univision is that like a Spanish speaking channel?
Yes, sir. So it's
It,
uh
it
it's based here in the United States, but it is Espanol all around the country.
right, right. Yeah, I happen to watch Univision and have for a long time. I try to be a little managed with my Spanish, man.
No, you're good.
Keep it, it's important to me, man. I think language is important to learn, and wherever you are, it's for me, it's incumbent that people pick up on some of the language. Not only do you honor the culture and the people that are there, but you're able to immerse yourself in the culture and learn a little bit about it. And for me, the ultimate trans transfer of language comes through music. As people say, music is the universal language. So after you were working with Univision in the corporate facet, you had a chance to venture out on the road to test out your microphone skills, if I'm not mistaken. How was
Yes.
that?
Yes, sir. So, an experience of a lifetime, and I do want to give a shout out to Independent Artist of the Year for 2021, Mr. Sir Daniel, out of San Diego. Just like you said, I was blessed with the opportunity to go on tour with him. So it came to a point where I literally made the leap of faith. I quit my job. I decided to go on this van life tour all the way across the country. We went from San Diego all the way to Miami, Florida, and back. And so that trip was me truly experiencing not only the highs but the lows as well of an independent artist, and being out there and fending for yourself, surviving off your creativity and your art, and providing the service of entertainment. It was a big learning experience for me, but just so much fun along the whole way, performing for people in places like Miami Beach, Bourbon Street in Louisiana, and all up and down Texas. It was really eye-opening for me to not only realize my potential, but really hone in on my energy and how I was able to affect people whenever I walked into a room or walked into a new city, and really place that confidence in myself that, I could make a life out of this. I do want to do this. I'm in the correct place.
Oh man, yeah, that's outstanding. I mean, just the progression through, the whole process, again, leading you to the point to where you are today. I see you as an ambassador of sorts, because you bring a background of family, that familia, that's very important. You bring a background of academics, you bringing the background of working within the field and in the corporate realm, and then, the background of performance and discovery, so all those things combined, they can be very grounding. You know what I mean? So no matter where you are, you may be able to feel at home. You feel very comfortable. You have a comfort with your message, and you understand, the power of media, right? You understand the power of the digital marketing. So all those things together, man, those are dynamic. And I don't want to say that's not something that's not found in individuals, but if it's there, it's not in every artist where you get to explore or to talk about those various levels, those depths of a person. And I think that makes for a unique combination.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Let's take a quick break for our sponsors, and then we're going to come right back, because I want to talk to you about more of this idea of being a well-rounded individual within music, within hip hop music, just within life. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back. Is that cool with you?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Where do you watch TV?
OnWatch TV.
Nowhere.
OnWatch TV.
What's OnWatch TV?
OnWatch TV is one of the most exciting channels on Roku and Amazon FireTV, with lots of categories to choose from movies to music, documentaries, and more. There's something for everyone.
What if people want to place their content on Watch TV?
You can visit the website onwatchtv.net to find out more, or email onwatchtv@gmail.com. Don't forget, check out OnWatch TV. See you on Watch TV.
See you on Watch TV.
OnWatch TV is available now on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Check it out. OnWatch TV. All right. Thank you for listening to our sponsors. My guest today is Daniel 3D Perez. I'm just going to start calling you 3D, man. I love the 3D, the three Daniels. You got the grandfather, the father, and you. It's much like, I guess my son, he could be 3T. He got the, grandfather, me, and then him, that's pretty cool. Just real quick, man, something that popped up, with me and my dad and my son all having the same name, there's oftentimes confusion when people are trying to make a phone call to us, or we'll get each other's mails. We'll get each other's credit score, bills or whatnot. Do you ever have any of those issues with you and your dad or granddad?
With my granddad, not so much, because we give him the respect of calling him Don Daniel. So that's like, the elder term, yes, Don Daniel. Yes. And then my dad has always been known amongst my friends, at least, as Coach Danny. So he always had even when he's not coaching us in baseball, he's just around the house. They could never, get past that Coach Danny. So they always called him Coach. That was kind of like the differentiating factor, if you will. But we use it to our advantage. And I'm not going to get too into detail with that, but you know what I mean? If you ever need a AAA help and, one Daniel on the card.
Definitely do. We use that to our advantage as well. And we actually have different monikers that we go by, so we don't get confused. Yeah, that's the benefit of it, man. That's one benefit. But I wanted to get back to, again, this idea of being a well-rounded individual. Earlier in the show, I talked about you and your motivation for bringing communities together, or people together, or entertainment back to areas that may seem void of entertainment, void of culture, void of an identity. And you're putting something together in the high desert region. And for those that are listening around the world, the high desert region, we're talking about Southern California. You're bringing something to this region for individuals here. Tell the audience about that.
Yes, exactly. So I've started my own business called Mi Casa Su Casa Entertainment, MCSC. And one of our first initiatives here in the community is to really build up the artist and musician community. And we're doing that by hosting events where we're shining a spotlight on different local artists, as well as creating a community where local artists can meet each other and get into a place where they can work together and grow together. And so this Saturday, October 23rd, is actually going to be our first one here in the hometown, the home area of the high desert. So I'll just put that there a little bit. But yeah, we have some great acts coming out. We have a support from your whole team there at OnWatch TV. We got support from the local radio station HD 96.3. Shout out to a local DJ Toro, helping us put this whole thing together. And it's going to be at Gators in Apple Valley, California. So we want to shout out the venue as well. But it's definitely it's a lot of planning, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, really culminating into this one event. And we're looking to keep it going and keep it moving forward.
And yeah, that's awesome. I'm so looking forward to that event. I'm looking forward to being there. And I can tell you, OnWatch TV, as the sponsor of this episode, is definitely looking forward to collaborating with you on that and much more. And I think that's a great thing that you're doing. I've interviewed quite a few people from this area, and I know, just like they're going to love that. They've been wanting that, they need that. And so Mi Casa Su Casa. So folks can go and find out more about that at your website, Mi Casa Su Casa.
So they can actually find out about this event specifically at hdspotlight.net. And one more time, that's hdspotlight.net. And that's going to give you the promo videos and really everything you need for that event specifically.
Absolutely. Got to make sure that we get that video out. And this event will be live streamed on OnWatch television. So all of the audience that's watching now, you don't have to be here necessarily. We would love for you to be here. But if you're not, wherever you are, turn on your Roku TVs, get over to OnWatch TV to check that out. We'll live stream that there. And then also it will be available on OnWatch TV for the upcoming future, and who knows, man, that's a good thing you're doing. I'm really happy for you for bringing that out. What else can we expect from Mi Casa Su Casa?
So Mi Casa Su Casa is really, I've done the work of tapping into the city. So what we're really striving to do here is create community. And so it's building a network of not only our events that we're doing, but inspiring and giving local artists, the tools they need to put on their own events, to be able to reach out to bigger venues with a proper media kit, to be able to have their marketing in order, to have someone who can engineer their music, or if they need a producer, have someone who's a producer, if a producer needs a rapper, or if a rapper needs a singer on a hook. What we're really doing here is just elevating the community as a whole and supporting any artists or any musicians that have that same mission and same goal to really just come together as a community and bring that energy back to the high desert.
Yeah, I love that. I'm almost certain, I can almost be certain that this is going to expand beyond the high desert. Mi Casa Su Casa, my house is your house. As I mentioned at the outset to the listening audience and the viewers, we are observing Hispanic Heritage Month, and what a better way than to bring some of the cultural attributes of the Hispanic culture into this conversation. And we've talked about it: family, responsibility, work ethic, right? Namesakes, it's all their community, giving back, building beyond, right? And I was going to say building beyond borders. I don't know how political I want to get with that one, but this idea of borders and moving beyond borders, breaking down borders, that's something that we can get into, but maybe we'll talk about that for another show, because we can go in depth in that. I really wanted to focus again on your efforts and your growth and the things that you're doing in the community, and just give voice to how much that's appreciated. I was saying earlier, you don't necessarily find all those attributes in an individual who's willing to not only be out there to promote themselves, himself or herself, but to create platforms for others in a very unselfish way. Where does this unselfishness come from? Where does this come from?
You know, I credit it to my family 100%. I feel, you know, my mom being an immigrant here, she's always worked hard. She's worked for everything that she's been able to obtain. And through her success, through that hard work, she's been able to provide for not only me and my sister, but family members as well. So that welcoming home, that if you need help, we got you mentality is something that I grew up with. And so combining that with my passion for music and my own talents, you know, Mi Casa Su Casa started off as just inviting people over to make music at my house and literally saying that every time, Mi Casa Su Casa, moving out to San Diego, being able to live on my own and have my own space and still having that same energy of Mi Casa Su Casa. You know, it's something that you don't really realize that it's unique until you kind of like leave, you know what I mean? So to have, you know, my close friends and people that I just met really be astounded by my welcoming energy or just my ability to be a good host, to me was something that, you know, my mom just always taught me right. So I felt like, you know, I need to come with that respect. I need to be there for other people. And so it just kind of, you know, developed in its own to something that it is today.
That's great, man. As I said, that's definitely needed. And it's a really a breath of fresh air, you know, out again in media. It's not that people aren't sharing it and others don't have that attitude, but I don't think that it is portrayed as much as it should be. I mean, it's been really, it's a cutthroat type of world, a cutthroat type of business. But individuals, I would say like you and definitely myself, I understand the benefit of giving back, of having that caring and open type of personality and energy, because what you put out will come back to you. And there's enough out there for all of us to be able to realize success. And for me, there's nothing that makes me feel better than helping others, right? So that idea of Mi Casa Su Casa is right in line with what I'm about. And so that was definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you on the show, especially during this special time where we're observing Hispanic Heritage Month. So thank you again for that.
No, I appreciate you for having me and letting me tell this story.
No, absolutely. And I definitely look forward to possibly having you back again on the show and seeing other ways that we can collaborate again. Again, thank you for what you're doing, for what you represent. My thanks to your family for raising you the way that they have, right? And just this whole environment of Mi Casa Su Casa.
Definitely. I appreciate you. I'll pass along that message. Before we kind of wrap things up, I do want to just spread a little, you know, just something that's on the top of my mind. For me, mental health is the most important thing in this entire journey. And to anyone watching this who may be younger, maybe going through something along the sorts, I just kind of want to spread that message of it's okay. And you grow through a lot of things. I feel like for me personally, at a young age, it can seem like the world is really on top of you and make you want to do some rash decisions. But just take it from me, someone who's kind of been from the bottom and, you know, still climbing. It's an ongoing journey, but really learn to appreciate your support system and learn to talk about it, because that's the first step in any healing journey. And that's what this is all about for me. In my heart, I know how much music has helped me. So I encourage you to pick up a pen, pick up a microphone, pick up an instrument, and reach out to someone that you do love. And remember that there's always people that love you and that are here for you as well.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better. You took me right back to a message I always tell my students, whether at the high school, and I always talk about the high school and the university, in both levels. I'm always talking about mental health and making safe spaces for students. Everybody knows my classrooms are safe spaces for everyone, right? If there's nowhere else you can go to feel safe, it's there. And I always talk about it's okay to have a problem. I want people to understand that too. It is okay. And speaking out helps because it invites others to understand your humanness, to understand what you're going through, and then to connect and possibly be that ally, that sounding board, that helper to you but we never know if you don't speak out. So understand, we've all been through it. You know, I've had my bouts with mental health, and I would say that having support systems and individuals like you, 3D, to be able to be vulnerable enough to discuss it, to talk about it, to understand the importance of it and the value of talking about mental health, you know, it makes all the difference. So again, it's okay to not be okay. And I always like to say, it's not okay to not do something about it. I want you to do something about it, right? If you feel helpless, that's a part of it. But understand there are individuals that are here. So thank you again, 3D, for bringing out that gem. Mental health awareness is very important. You got it all, man. You got it all.
I appreciate you. We're
Absolutely.
we're flowing over here, you know?
No, absolutely. That's what it's all about. So again, this is Let's Chew the Gum, the podcast where we talk about everything from A to Z. Again, folks that are listening and watching online, if you have questions about the show or questions you want to ask myself or any of my guests, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at letschewthegum@gmail.com. I always respond. And thank you again to all the listeners around the world. And thank you now to all of you who are viewing Let's Chew the Gum the first time in video format. Happy to have you as my guest, Daniel 3D Perez.
You already know what it is. Saludos
Yes,
a mi
sir.
gente del Salvador y México, ya saben.
Salute.
Appreciate you.
Remember, we always have
Something for your mind. Mind. Something for your mind. Mind. Something for your mind.
정신을 집어넣으세요. 마음에 어떤 것 필요합니까?
Something for your
정신을 집어넣으세요.
mind.